Hello everybody, my name is Faethodas. Welcome to this video, which is a new build guide. This is a new build which we are going to be watching for this month, August, which will probably be the hottest month of this summer. As usually, this month is the hottest of the summer, at least down here in Greece. And this build is called Atropos Fate. This is one of the three fates. You know, if you know about mythology, you should know the fates. These are three female, something like goddesses, who determines the life of a being, a human or an animal, maybe, who knows. At the beginning of life, how life should go, approximately, and when the life ends. So this Atropos Fate is the one that cuts the thread of life of a human being or an animal. Anyway, we don't care about animals at this point, just humans and monsters, because with this build we are going to be cutting the thread of life of every monster that we see in the world of Titan Quest, even from undead, which are dead already. They have no life thread to cut. But this is a game, it makes no sense. Like The Walking Dead, it makes no sense. Anyway, let's not go there. Now, what is this build all about? I named this build Atropos Fate because first, this is, as we already said, the fate, one of the three fates. The name of this fate is Atropos. Now, the first thing to do with this build is to create a female character, because this is a female character. The three fates are represented as female humans in Greek mythology, so it makes sense to have a female character. The second thing to do with this build is, of course, to start working on it, and the class of this build, I chose it to be the Spellbreaker class, and here we play with the Masteries, Warfare and Spirit. Now, this is something like an experimental build. There is no theory crafting behind this build. The idea of for this build came to me when I found this item twice, the Atropos Assistant. This is a legendary, very good item. And as you can see, I can wield it, dual wield. So this item gave me this idea to create a build with the Atropos Fate, which is called Atropos Fate. So the one thing this build is using standard is these two weapons. This build will use these weapons forever. This is why I'm saying this is an experimental build, because in the future, in the epic and especially in legendary difficulty, I don't know if I can stay alive, if I can survive by dual wielding the same weapon. Maybe I should use a shield here, who knows. But this is for the future to see, to find out. For now we have this build. So this build, since it cuts the thread of life of live beings, it plays with vitality damage. It is a vitality damage build, and also it plays with the reduction to enemies' health, a percentage of reduction to enemies' health. So this skill here, the War Horn with this add-on Doom Horn, is the most basic skill of this build, I would say, at least thematically, because we want to use this skill all the time, as often as we can, when doing battles, just to stun the enemies for as long as we can, and of course to cut, to reduce the health of our enemies and reduce their armor so we can easily kill them. So, let's start with the skills now, and then we can go to the items of this build. For the Warfare Mastery, we are using of course the weapon training skill. This skill gives offensive ability and attack speed for a build. Actually, for every build that uses the Warfare Mastery, this skill is mandatory, there is no question about it. You always max out and use this skill. It makes no sense not to use this skill when you play the Warfare Mastery. The other skill, of course, which is very important, actually it is mandatory, we cannot play this build without this skill, is the dual wield, which of course gives a chance to be used. Now the skill is maxed out. The natural cap of the skill is level 6, but I have maxed it out and also maxed out the current cap, which is 10, because I get plus 4 skill levels to this skill by an item. We will talk about items later. And on level 10 we have a 30% chance to be used for the skill, and it deals 10 it adds 10 damage. And also we are using the Hue skill, a dual wielding technique that causes increased damage by 50% on level 6. It has 10% chance to be used on level 6, and it deals plus 50% physical damage. This is a powerful attack, and we want it absolutely. Now I'm not sure if I will use this one, the cross cut, in the future, and this one, although this one deals bleeding damage, and also it hits 3 targets maximum, but the bleeding damage it deals would help very much. Because we have another skill here, we will talk about it in a minute. But I'm not sure if I'm using these two skills, but we will see. But these two skills are mandatory for this build. The next skill I have activated for now is the battle standard. This is a great skill always, because you put a battle flag on the ground, and when you are inside the radius of this flag, you get plus 1 to all skills, you deal more damage, more offensive ability, less energy cost, and more damage absorption. This is a very powerful skill. Well, I tend to invest more points in this skill in the future, but we will see. The next, of course, mandatory skill for the build is the onslaught skill. With this one, the more we invest into it, the more damage output we deal, and we get an increase in projectile speed, although we are not playing any projectile type of skills or weapons, although I use a bow on my secondary setup of the weapons for now, but I don't think I will use it for much longer. But we will see. Anyway, this is a great skill. We want to have it, of course, because this is a 100% melee build, which plays with the Warfare Mastery. It makes no sense not to have this skill. And of course we have maxed out the Ignore Pain, which gives on level 6 15% physical resistance and pierce resistance. Both are very useful. They help with our survivability. I haven't yet activated these two skills, but in the future we will invest points in these two skills too. And of course, as we said before, one of the most important skills of this build is the Warhorn, which stuns the enemies for some seconds. It has a good meter radius. On level 1 we will max out this skill, and we will see what it will do. And of course we are going to max out this one because we want it. We absolutely want the skill. It would help with the reduction to enemies' health every time we activate the Warhorn, and also it would reduce. It reduces actually the armor of our enemies for 10 seconds when we use the Warhorn. So this is a powerful combination. These are the skills that I used in the normal difficulty. This character of course has already defeated the normal difficulty, the campaign, and every side quest. I always complete all the main and all the side quests of the game. I leave nothing out of my playthroughs. Now for the Spirit Mastery. Here we have maxed out this line of skills. This is a very powerful line of skills. We have the Death Chill Aura, which has a meter radius, and enemies that are inside this area and affected by this aura take up to 9% reduction to their health, which of course we got because this is one of the basic attribute powers of this build. And they also get their total speed reduced by 25% on maximum natural level 6. Of course we have maxed out the Ravages of Time, another useful skill, very useful. It reduces the damage of our enemies and their armor absorption. And of course we have the Necrosis, which is a very powerful, very powerful skill. Actually we absolutely want it. It is maxed out on level 8. And on level 8 it debuffs the enemies by 81%, which means it deals minus 81% bleeding resistance, vitality damage resistance and life leech resistance to our enemies. This is a very big number, the minus 81%, because if it goes, it means actually that our enemies will receive plus 81% more vitality damage from our hero, for example. And also the bleeding resistance, it reduces the bleeding resistance. So this is why 2 minutes ago I was telling you that this might be useful, because this one deals bleeding damage over 3 seconds on 3 targets maximum. And if I use this one in combination with this one that reduces the bleeding resistance of the enemies, this would be useful actually. Of course I'm not very sure how much damage it would deal, because I don't play a bleeding build. And the damage shouldn't be so much, but it would be a help complementing the vitality damage of this build. We will see, I'm not sure yet, but we will see in the future. And the other skills I'm using are the Spirit Ward. This is a very good skill because it deals more damage to undead, and it makes our hero receive less damage from undead. And of course undead are everywhere in this game, so it is almost always useful to have. And the add-on, of course, the Spirit Bane, which brings more damage against undead. So we become even more powerful against undead. And since we can cut the thread of life of living beings, because we are the Atropos Fate and this is our job, now with these two skills we cut the thread of unlife of the undead. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stupid things, I don't know. Let's go. Let's continue. We have the Circle of Power skill. This is a very powerful skill. As you can see, when we cast it to the floor and enemies are inside the radius of the skill, and we are inside the radius of the skill, because if we are not inside the radius of the skill, this skill is useless. We deal plus 100% bleeding damage, plus 100% vitality damage, and plus 100% life leech. Also we get more casting speed, less recharge time for our skills, and less energy cost. Now the most important thing about this one is of course the damage that we deal, the plus 100% bleeding and vitality and life damage that we deal. This build is a vitality damage build, so imagine that you have on the floor this skill active, you deal plus 100% vitality damage because of the skill, and also you have down on the floor the battle standard, which will give you more flat damage, more offensive ability, and plus 1 to all skills, at least on level 1. And of course we haven't activated this one, which would give even more damage, physical damage, less stun resistance for our enemies. So this is a powerful combination of skills, the Circle of Power with the Battle Standard, and this skill here with the bleeding, which reduces the bleeding and vitality damage resistance of our enemies. So this is going to become a powerful build. So these are the skills that this character used to complete the normal difficulty of the game. Now let's go to the items. Here we have nice things, very nice things. Since this is a vitality damage mainly build, and of course physical damage, of course we are using these two items. Let's start with the weapons, since these two items are the reason why I created this build. This is the Atropos Assistant, a legendary. It requires a player level 37, and it gives a good chance, 12% of 65% reduction to enemies' health. This number is random, so this one gives to 12% of 76 reduction. This one gives 65% reduction, this one gives 76 reduction. Of course the rest of the numbers are random too. With this one we deal also up to 24 vitality damage. It gives 96% bleeding resistance and 97% life leech resistance. Also it gives 21 strength points and energy regeneration. Also this one gives 113% bleeding resistance, 117% life resistance, 20 strength points and energy regeneration. As we can see, with the combination of these two items, our bleeding resistance is maxed out, and of course it will be maxed out also in the epic difficulty, and I think on the legendary difficulty too. It might be maxed out with the combination of these two items, I'm not sure, but it will certainly have a big number on the legendary difficulty, so we will have no problem with bleeding damage when receiving bleeding damage. And of course the same goes with the life leech resistance. Enemies that will deal life leech to our hero will have a problem with this one, because our resistance is very high. It is more than 200% actually. So this is a powerful combination. Of course there are more powerful items in the game, for example items that give more base damage. This item gives 148 to 156 base damage, as we can see here only. There are items that could give more than 200 base damage, but we are going with the theme of this build, with the vitality damage, so we are using this one twice, this item twice. Now for the rest of the items, we have the artifact Death Rattle. This is a lesser artifact for a level 5 character. It gives flat damage, some poison damage over time, some health and energy points, and 15% attack speed, which is very useful. And the completion bonus is 33% slower attack for 3 seconds, which is very useful, because let's not forget that the skills we are using, some of the skills, for example this one, Death Chill Aura, makes the enemies to have 25% total speed less. It reduces the total speed of the enemies. And if you think that we are using this one too, slower attack for our enemies, so you can see that we are very fast against our enemies, and they are very slow. Now here we have the Bone Greaves. This is one of the items of the set Bone Armor. I'm using 3 of the 4 of the set items. This one is a very nice item. It gives fire resistance, dexterity points, movement speed, energy regeneration, and +4 to the skill Tumult. This skill is here actually. So if I decide To use the skill in the next difficulty, of course, then I will decide if I will keep this item here, because I plan on equipping other items to the slot, to this slot also. From the set of the bone armor, the item that I'm going to keep is only the helm. Now, we will go here in a moment. So, I'm not sure if I will keep this item, but it is very good. It helps very much with the tumult skill, but we will see in the future. Here we have the bone bracers. This one gives cold resistance, it is a big amount. It gives 29% life leads. We deal life leads to our enemies. Strength points, health points, attack speed at +4 to the skill Unearthly Power. Now I don't remember which skill is this. Unearthly Power, where are you? I forgot the skill, I don't believe it. Anyway, it is somewhere around here. No, it isn't here. Oh, NATO. Here it is. So as we can see, this one is also a powerful skill. It gives more physical bleeding, elemental and vitality damage when we use the Dark Covenant. But I'm not sure if I will keep this one, because I'm not sure if I will use these two skills. I'm not sure about it. Because this one, for starters, it has a very long recharge time, so I'm not sure. Anyway, I will keep it in my stash and we will see. When I find a better item to replace this one, I will replace it. And we will see in the future what happens. Now here we have the bone helm. I'm going to keep this item because it gives +4 to the dual wield skill, which is this one. As you can see, here is where we get the +4 skill levels to the dual wield. It is this item that gives +4. So this item is here to stay for good, forever. Although it is not the best on the armor it gives, but it gives intelligence points. Not very useful. It gives a good amount of casting speed. It is useful actually, because we are using the war horn, and when we cast it, it will get casted very fast, so it helps with this thing. It also gives 11% chance to avoid projectiles, which is very useful, of course, and especially for this build, which is not using any shields at all, and the defenses are not so good, so this helps very much, and of course the +4 to dual wield. Now for the bonus of this set, it gives good bonuses. They help, at least in the normal difficulty. But in the epic difficulty, I don't think the bonus of this set is very useful. And I don't care about it very much. Anyway, let's not talk about this bonus of the set. Here we have the Etruscan cuirass. This is a nice legendary item. It requires a player level 37. Of course, in the future I will replace this item with something better. For now it gives 20% pierce resistance, elemental resistance, some poison resistance. Also it gives dexterity, health and energy points. Minus 11% energy cost, and the good thing is that it gives minus 20% reduction to all requirements. So this is very nice. As you can see here, it is actually a very nice combination of items, and they fit very nicely visually, I could say. Yeah, I like the visuals. So now we have to see the jewels. We have this crazy amulet, this dreadful pendant of guile. Now this amulet is crazy because it is a level 12 only amulet, and it gives plus good percentages of bleeding damage, cold damage, frostburn damage, poison damage and vitality damage. plus 40% vitality damage, which we want for this build because this is a vitality damage build, and also it gives the crazy amount of 13% chance to avoid projectiles. So we get 13% chance to avoid projectiles here and 11% here, and we go up to 24%. As you can see, this is a very nice combination of these two items. And of course, since this is a rare green item, we can attach a charm or a relic. I put the spectral matter, which gives energy leech over 3 seconds, energy leech resistance, and the completion bonus is plus 50% damage to undead. This is actually the reason why I put this spectral matter on this item, because of the damage to undead. It is very much. This damage is a very nice number. So this is a powerful amulet. I will probably replace it in the future. I don't know yet with what, but we will see. Here we have the epic item Adroit Loop. It gives pierce resistance, poison resistance, a flat number of damage, and also plus 23% physical damage, more stun duration, dexterity points, health points, and plus 12% offensive ability and 11% defensive ability, and also 5% chance to dodge attacks. As we can see, this ring is very powerful, at least for the normal difficulty. Actually, it is very powerful overall, because I have also used it on other builds that have defeated legendary difficulty with this ring, because this one gives a percentage to the offensive and defensive ability, and also to dexterity points, and it helps very much with our offensive and defensive ability here. This is a powerful ring. I think I will replace it in the future. I don't know yet. We will see how it goes. And here we have the rare green item Forsaken Jewel of Frost. This one is a very good item. Actually, this is a crazy item. It deals cold damage, frostburn damage, but the reason I'm using it is that it deals plus 26% vitality damage. We play vitality build. It gives a flat of cold damage number and also 27% energy drain. In the normal difficulty, this power was useful actually. I found it useful because it was working very nicely in many times, so it is okay to have it. But in the future I don't know if it will deal any damage or anything bad to our enemies. But the vitality damage that it gives is very nice. Also, I put a Vile Core, a completed charm on this item, which gives more vitality damage, and the completion bonus gives 17 poison damage over 3 seconds. So, for the first difficulty, this item is a powerful one. Of course, this item is powerful too. This is a crazy item. And overall, these items, the combination of these items helped me to defeat the normal difficulty by having only 9 deaths, total deaths. The attribute points, I spent attribute points mostly on strength, because this is a melee build and we are going to use the physical damage. We play vitality damage, but physical damage is always useful, especially on melee builds. So we are investing on strength points, and I put some points here on the dexterity, because one of the items, this item, Atropos Assistance, requires 143 dexterity points. So I put a few points here to help me with equipping this item. And also we have the intelligence points. As we can see, dexterity and intelligence are almost equal, but the strength is more. We are going to put more points to strength, and we will see how it goes. I plan to bring more Also, the good thing about this, the intelligence, is that increases both elemental and vitality damage. But since we play vitality build, a vitality damage build, it is a nice idea to put more points here on intelligence. But the thing here is that we need also offensive and defensive ability, which means that we should put points here on dexterity. But for now I'm going to put more points on strength and points on intelligence for the vitality damage, and I will see, maybe I can do something with the Android loop. If I keep it, the dexterity maybe goes up. If I manage to find and equip items that would boost a little bit my dexterity. We will see, I don't know yet. We will see. My bleeding resistance is maxed out, of course, with the combination of these two items. And the rest of the resistances, the secondary are 0, except for the energy resistance, which is 10%, which we are not very interested about it. And my main resistances are very good, most of them. For the normal difficulty, 65% is very good. This is maxed out. This is not good. This is good, and this is good too. So this is it for this build, guys. We will have some gameplay videos, and the next video, which will be the first update video for this build, will come in approximately 10 days from now. And in that video we will see what items and what changes in the skills we had while playing and defeating the epic difficulty of the campaign with this character. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below, hit the like button if you like this video, share this video, subscribe if you want to stay updated with more videos. There are much more videos, many more videos coming to this channel. And I will see you again very soon in the next video. I hope I'm not forgetting anything about this build. No, my inventory, no. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I will see you later. Bye.